Welcome to the Stan Sheriff Center, the Hawaiian Tel FCU starting lineup scrolling in the bottom right corner of your screen. What you will see is Hawaii going with the same starting lineup from last night. USC, well, they're going a different.
Only one starter from last night, Grasso.
In fact, their entire starting lineup, all sophomores and freshmen, many of whom seldom used, as that one is sent long. The only senior or upperclassman in the starting lineup for USC is their libero, Vinny Rios, but he only has 3 digs on the season, playing in just his 10th set here at the start of this match. Backside, here's Stein von Tilburg. That one punched up in the air by Rios. The swing by Aaron Strange blocked back. A feisty little effort on the side of USC here to start. Here's Stein, double block up, cross court, dug up by Strange. So the bump set goes right side. Here's Woody Cook off the block and out, and USC gets the point. So
Woody Cook's been playing well lately. He had a great match at Stanford up at the Galen Center a couple weeks ago. And there he gets a nice tool off the block to get SC's first point.
So the Trojans 6-11 coming in, 5-9 in the MPSF. Tonight's match not a conference match, as Hendrik Mole slam dunks that one for a Hawaii point. The Rainbow Warriors coming in 17-2. They have won 12 straight matches, 8-2 in the MPSF. But Jeff Nygaard taking an unorthodox approach here to this match. What do you think the thinking is?
Well, I think he's getting a lot of people some time that haven't got much time this year. You know, the number of sets played on this SC side really is not a whole lot. One guy's played 4 sets, the other guy's played only, Vinny Rios has only played 6 sets all year. So I think he's rewarding some guys that, you know, they've been working hard on the other side of the net, just really haven't had their opportunities. And the match does not mean that much to SC. It means a lot to Hawaii, but not as much to USC. What they want to do is just get into the tournament. So they would need to win conference games, not a non-conference game.
Here's Brent Rosenmeyer. Wow, he went beastly there, but it was dug up back over the net. Back row set goes to Kupono Fei. That one popped up in the air by Connor Inlow. So from the back row, it's Woody Cook, misses the court wide. Point for Hawaii. Of course, the big story, Lucas Yoder, the 6'5" senior outside hitter who came into this series in Honolulu, leading the nation in kills per set and points per set, not playing tonight. There he is along the bench. He has been dealing with an abdominal strain, and we suspect that the reason why he is sitting this one out, as you mentioned, Chris, this one not carrying as much weight as last night's conference matchup, as Brent Rosenmeyer gets the kill for the Rainbow Warriors.
Had it been another conference match, I think Lucas would have played. He would have taken one for the team because he's got 25 days off till the next conference match. They don't play again until UCLA on March 28th. In between, they got 4 non-conference matches.
4 serving 2. Good dig there by Kupono Fei. Backside, von Tilburg able to ping it up against the end line. Hawaii up 3.
It's like Jennings Franciscovich might have gone underneath the net with his right foot there, but got away with it. Von Tilburg connecting again on that right side. So effective over there.
Here comes Hendrik Mole with the serve. Set goes opposite side. That's Strange. Popped up by Mole. Bump set goes to Stein. And that one did not get over the net. So it's a point for the Trojans. 3 serving 5 coming up. Hawaii pulling off the sweep last night against USC, 25-20, 25-23, and then 25-23. Now, with the exception of the late stages of sets 2 and 3, it was a match that for the most part was controlled by Charlie Wade and his bunch.
It really was. Hawaii pretty much led throughout in all 3 sets.
Oh, that middle set mistimed. Chance for the Trojans. Pat Gassman denies access in the middle. Solo roof on Ryan Moss.
Well, it took 3 sets for Hawaii to get their first block last night. And here they get their first block on the 9th point of the first set. So improvement in that category.
Pat Gassman coming into this match with a team high 55 blocks. Give him another solo deal right there. Chance here for the Bows. Gassman in the middle, dug up by Cook. Here's Strange, blocked, popped up in the air by Matt Faramo. He's the starting setter tonight. What a dig back over the net by Stein. The swing in the middle by Moss. One-handed up by Tuileta. And then one-handed down by Jennings Franciscovich.
Nice rally there. Rios coming up with a couple of good digs on SC's side of the court. Tuileta coming up with a good dig right there, which allows Franciscovich to again become the offensive center that he likes to be.
So 7 serving 3, and Stein von Tilburg tops on the team in kills per set. 7 aces on the season, serves it long. And it's a point for USC. Now the dilemma, if you want to call it that, for Charlie Wade is this isn't a conference match, but as you mentioned, there are postseason implications when it comes to at-large bids and possibly hosting in the playoffs. As you see the serve coming from Gianluca Grasso. Had a solid match last night. So did this guy. 17 kills for Stein von Tilburg. But the other thing that Charlie Wade has to measure against is his team's playing really well. They've won 23 straight sets. So while this match sets up to afford you to maybe plug in a few different names, different players, how much do you want to do that and possibly disrupt the flow?
It's a great question. I think he will do it for sure, but I think he'll do it one player at a time. He will not put in, I don't think he'll make wholesale changes for sure.
Kupono Fei, he's been playing very well as of late. 2.35 kills per set on the season, able to tool the block to his advantage there, and largest lead of this opening stanza for the Bows.
To follow up on that thought, I think Charlie Wade really does want to keep cohesion with this first group. They've shown to have good chemistry, and they're getting good flow, and Jennings Franciscovich can set them to like a 407, just keep the group like they are.
And Rosie deals an ace out of the deck. Timeout USC. Brett Rosenmeyer putting the Rainbow Warriors up a half dozen. Welcome back. Let's take a look at the Kaiser Permanente keys to the match, Chris.
For USC, they've got to slow down the UH juggernaut. The Trojans hit about their average of 250 last night, but could not stop UH, who hit 170 points above their average. Better block and a better back row defense might just do the trick. And for Hawaii, I think they're going to reward the bench. It's a non-conference game. Watch for Worsley, Matautia, Parapunov, Solbrig, and maybe others to see some more action tonight.
We'll see who gets in first, but Charlie Wade would love to set a tone, perhaps with a set 1 win before he starts tapping into the bench as Rosenmeyer serves it out of the timeout.
I'm going to predict Solbrig going to be the first one off the bench.
Why would that be?
Well, he's a middle attacker, doesn't get all that many sets. He won't disrupt the chemistry of this group that's playing right now.
Outside, here's Kupono Fei laying the smackdown.
Kupono Fei better not give him too much line because he will take it. He also had the cross court there as well, as Gassman took the middle right with him, leaving Kupono Fei one-on-one.
Back row set, the timing not there, as Grasso was the intended target on the swing. Now a new setter in there, Matt Ferramo. He's a 6'3" freshman from San Diego, California. 4 sets played previous to tonight, just 11 assists on the season. So Jeff Nygaard tapping into the bench to start this match as Jennings Franciscovich smothers that one. And Hawaii rolling right now, up 8-13, serving 5.
Woody Cook did a nice job of trying to tool Franciscovich, but Franciscovich got tooled a couple times last night. I don't think he wanted to have it happen again, so he really turned that right hand into the court.
Good serve there by Gassman. Here's Strange from the opposite side. He's a good-looking frosh. 6'4" freshman from San Clemente, California. Aaron Strange, who prepped at the same high school, San Clemente High School, as Lucas Yoder, who's sitting this one out tonight.
Strange last night, 2 kills, no errors, hit 500. Sure we'd like to have the same kind of output tonight.
So here is Ferramo out of Cathedral Catholic High School with the serve. Perfect pass there by Rosie. D-set to Stein, and he demolishes it for a Hawaii point. 14 serving 6 coming up.
Stein von Tilburg just seems to be getting better and better with every match.
And I mean, that's another thing. It's like Charlie would probably love to give consideration to Rado Parapunov to maybe even start tonight's match, but He's thinking to himself, how can I sit the guy who's been hitting over 500 the last 3 matches? Here's Stein again. Goes off the block and down. I mean, everything he's touching is turning into points for the Rainbow Warriors. They're first to 15 and cruising so far in set 1.
Rainbow Warrior Volleyball on OCSports is sponsored by Strong and Hawaii Honda Dealers.
Welcome back. Let's check out the First Hawaiian Bank top 3. Hawaii consecutive sets won. Now they're on a roll of 23 straight sets coming into tonight. But the record 35 sets, that was back in 1996. That was a heck of a year. They had their best overall start to a season, 35-set win streak as Kupono Fei up next to Hendrik Mole, putting up the rainbow wall. And another point for the Bows. And we will have a substitution here in the first set. And the first off the bench is Rado Patapunov.
I wonder if that's it for Stein for the night. That's an early substitute.
Stein sits with 4 kills on 7 swings. Doesn't disrupt the average too much. And a nice looking swing there by Connor Inlow, 6'6" sophomore from Manhattan Beach, California. One of 4 players on the USC roster out of Miracosta High School.
That's a volleyball factory in Southern California, not far from Manhattan Beach, LAX. Inlow played the USA Youth National Team.
Oh boy, Hendrik Mole. Holy moly.
Hendrik Mole gets up high, quick arm swing. He's quick off the ground. Difficult guy to block.
He is a guy who has been dealing with a little bit of discomfort in his lower left leg. You couldn't see it there. He was up on a trampoline on that swing. 17 serving 7 here in the first set. Strange goes high hands. Did he get the touch? Well, the top official, Bill Forrester, didn't see it. Dan Hiranaka on the court did call the touch, and so that will cue Jeff Nygaard to pull out the paddle. And he will challenge that play.
I'm pretty sure it was a touch.
Yeah, you can almost hear it.
I think I did hear it, and I don't have great hearing, but I heard that one through my ear set, my headset here. Let's see if we can take a look and see right there. Looks like I think Mole got a piece of that.
Yeah, looks like it right there. Now, what's interesting is Bill Forrester, the top official, I mean, he's right there next to the play. And Dan Hiranaka will indeed reverse the call. So a successful challenge from Jeff Nygaard in his second season.
Up 1-0 over Charlie Wade right now.
And the first challenge victory for a coach in this series.
That's right.
Because
both
last night,
coaches.
Yeah, none of the challenges went the way of the challenger. Backside, here's Rado through the block and down. A net violation called against USC, but just a glimpse as to what Rado Patapunov is capable of, averaging 3 kills per set. Missed 3 of the first 4 matches with a knee issue, but he looks like he's raring to go now, Chris.
Yeah, he really looks good. You know, I'd love to comment in the pregame show that Mole said about Patapunov. He said, you should have been here at 7:30 in the morning the other day. Rado was perfect from the floor for about the first hour.
Dalton Solbrig in to the match now for Hawaii. Gassman couldn't put it down. Strange off the block for a USC point. Strange looking pretty good over there at that opposite position.
Very strange, the lefty. Well, Hawaii's got a good chance to play against lefties, that's for sure. Ian McKellar certainly provides that left-handed presence in practice. And Patapunov does as well.
Strange at the serve, and he misses wide left. And it's another point for Hawaii. That was another interesting part of the Game On pregame show when Ian McKellar, who is a senior out of England on this roster, and how he is sort of in this reserve role that he's found himself in this his senior year. He has sort of taken Rado Patapunov under his wing, so to speak. And that's a put down by Ryan Moss after a little bit of action atop the net.
Yeah, those are some great comments by Ian about how he's trying to mentor him a little bit, you know, in the weight room and just teach him a little bit about the Hawaiian culture. It was a really cool piece.
Only UH men's volleyball can you have a British guy talking about trying to teach a guy from Bulgaria about the Hawaiian culture. Here's Strange. That one dug up by Parapunov. The set will go to Faye from the back row. Didn't get it above the table.
Hawaii getting a little sloppy right now with a 10-point lead. Now that 10-point lead down to 8.
Gianluca Grasso, 10 kills, hit .381 last night. Stands at 6'2", at least that's his listing, but that may even be a bit of an overestimation. As Rosie able to pound it off the block and out for a Hawaii point to right the ship. Rosenmeyer had 10 kills last night. He hit .368. Also had a block solo. Has really come into his own here in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Was our player of the game last night for his performance. Put up great numbers. Anytime you hit .368 and you're an outside hitter, you got to be getting some sort of an award. It's not an easy job. You got to hit all those broken plays. You not only get the, you know, the in-system play sets, which sometimes gives you one-on-one situations, but you got those broken plays where you very often are facing 3 blockers.
Rosenmeyer, the jump serve. Good pass by Cook. Middle set, that's dug up nicely by Tuileta. Faye popped up in the air by Grasso. Oh, but the second touch went awry for USC. And it's another point for Hawaii and another opportunity for Charlie Wade to bring in a substitute. And it is Austin Mataltia who replaces Rosenmeyer. Mataltia, 6'3" freshman, started the season as one of the starters at the outside hitter position out of Moanalua High School. Burst onto the scene, but Brett Rosenmeyer has been able to earn that job since. Here's Cook, roll shot, dug up by Mataltia. Here's Rado. Oh boy, packing a punch.
Ooh, block was well formed, and Rado found a way to go high hands and get the kill.
So another timeout by USC as the Rainbow Warriors have the Trojans doubled up here in the opening set. 22-11. And Hawaii continuing the offensive onslaught, hitting .458. USC right now flatlining it, Chris.
6 kills, 6 errors. Not a good number.
Take a look at tonight's Jack Fact. Welcome home, Kupono. Hawaii outside hitter Kupono Faye. First 14 matches in 2017, you see what he did. Then the last 3 home matches, kind of like Brett Rosenmeyer finding his game on the road, Kupono Faye did something similar. Check out the improvement. 1.89 kills per set better, and 126 percentage-wise better in the last 3 home matches. It has really helped to create more balance here for this offense. Between Kupono Faye and Brett Rosenmeyer's play as of late, they have really solidified the outside.
Yeah, you really need at least one of those 2 guys hitting over 250 on any given night. Kupono could probably go down as low as 200 as long as his passing was sharp and stabilizing that passing pattern. But if his hitting drops a little bit and the passing's off, watch for Mataltia to come in.
So far tonight, Kupono Faye 2 kills on 6 swings. Stein von Tilburg, who was subbed out about midway through this opening set. He's sitting with 4 kills. That's still leading everybody in this match. But Rado Parapunov, 2 kills on 2 swings. Count them up here, 6 Rainbow Warriors who have recorded at least a kill so far in this first set.
Pretty good set distribution by Jennings Franciscovich.
I would say so. Mataltia, a great scoring server. And Strange starting to feel his groove. Played club volleyball for the vaunted Balboa Bay Volleyball Club in California.
Charlie Brand's club. Dave Shoji's assistant for his 1982-1983 national championship squads.
Jennings goes middle to Gassman. Didn't get all of it, got enough of it.
Charlie getting another one. Anastasiadis comes in.
This may be a little bit more of a turnstile substitution effect than what we were even anticipating. James Anastasiadis in and back to serve. But you got Solbrig out there on the floor, Matautia, Parapunov.
Almost the entire B squad.
Served by Anastasiadis is a great one. Scrambled by USC. And the Rainbow Roofers in the house. Kupono Fei right next to Solbrig.
There's a broken play caused by a great serve by Anastasiadis. There's a well-formed block, and Kupono Fei got all of that one. And he congratulates Anastasiadis for putting SC into a broken play situation.
So Aloha ball in the first here for the Bows. High and away it goes to Cook. Off the block and out. Hawaii already with 4 team blocks. That matches their output in that category from all of last night's match. In fact, they had 0 blocks the first 2 sets.
They were over. I'm telling you, that was very surprising to see that. And amazingly, they won the first 2 sets without any blocks. They did it in other ways. That's what great teams do. They find other ways to win.
Ramos serves it into the net, and that's how the first set comes to a close. So USC playing some of the youngins here to start the Hanaho match. And the Rainbow Warriors taking advantage.
Rainbow Warrior Volleyball on OC Sports is sponsored by Bank of Hawaii, Kaiser Permanente, and Island Air.
Well, Hawaii's block party got started early in contrast to what happened last night in the first meeting between these two teams. 14 blocks in that opening set, Chris.
Very impressive. I think the block was, being the number 1 block in the country. I think they were a little embarrassed maybe by getting no blocks in the first 2 sets. And I think they really focused a lot tonight on making sure they got off to a good start. And certainly they did with 4 blocks. They normally average around 2.8, 2.9.
There's a special UH Club for Keiki. Stop by Papa John's Pizza to join the UH Kids Club. Purchase a large pizza and children receive an official club t-shirt and a host of other benefits. Join the UH Kids Club today. If you're just joining us, this is the Hanaho match of this weekend series for Hawaii against USC. They took last night's in a sweep, and it was an MPSF match. Tonight, not a conference match. And still obviously carries some weight for Charlie Wade and his team when it comes to postseason considerations. But with this match perhaps not having as many stakes, at least from the USC perspective, Jeff Nygaard, Trojans head coach, went ahead and he put a lot of his reserves in as starters tonight. A lot of seldom used players.
I think the only starter that is in there is Ryan Moss, middle blocker, and Gianluca Grasso. Those are the only 2 that are the starters from last night. And clearly, it is a good time for him to reward some of the younger players or a senior who hasn't played much, because this match is not as important for USC as it is for Hawaii.
Hawaii taking advantage, though, in that first set, winning 25-13. They hit 480 compared to 033 for the Trojans. And it'll be USC here to serve to get set 2 started. Woody Cook bringing it across. Jennings goes back row to Matautia. So a couple of the bench guys, quote unquote, for Hawaii getting the nod here to start set 2. Matautia, one of them, Rado Parapunov, also out there.
And we'll see if Dalton Solbrig comes in as the second middle. He would be the 3rd B-teamer to get in the lineup in the second set.
And that serve by Franciscovich goes into the net. Matautia made such a splash at the beginning of the season as a freshman starter on the outside.
Especially from behind the service line, he was phenomenal.
Still 3rd on the team, even though he hasn't played too much as of late with 11 aces. Bump set by Jennings. The touch shot by Rado, sniffed out by Grasso. Oh, what a dig there by Tuileta. Free ball coming, though, here for the Trojans. Ferramo goes backside. Strange. Oh, he catches that corner. Charlie Wade making the out signal, thought it was long. And Jennings Franciscovich, the floor captain, looks over at Charlie Wade and says, grab that paddle.
Get that paddle.
And so Charlie Wade will indeed challenge the call.
I wonder which side Charlie flashed, the challenge side, or does he want a free night at the outrigger?
They have spared no expense on these challenge paddles to be used here. All televised home games in the Stan Sheriff Center.
And the only one to do it in the league. We're the only gymnasium to do it. Tuileta's got his hand up saying it's out. There's another look at it from a different angle. Ooh, that looks pretty out from there.
It's funny because from either end line, possibly a different call, you had the Hawaii fans who were cheering upon the first replay. And then the USC players were cheering along the second replay, but this might be the deciding factor here.
That was the best look right there, for sure. The ball's out. I think Dan Hironaka is going to say it's out.
Hironaka telling Jeff Nygaard it was out. Palms pointed upward by Nygaard. It's a point for Hawaii. I think that's the right call.
It was the right call.
Can I challenge this challenge?
Jeff Nygaard asking if he can challenge the challenge. That would be a first.
Only Nygaard would think of something like that.
Oh, man.
He's a beauty.
The dry wit you were able to experience talking to him prior to these two matches. Kupono Fei with the serve. Outside it goes to Grasso, dug up by Franciscovich. So Tui sets up Fei. And Cook able to pop it up. Cook will get a swing from the back row. 3 blockers up, and he blasts it out of play. Jeff Nygaard not happy with something that happened along that last sequence.
I think there was a net violation. I think he wants to challenge, but apparently he's not going to.
Well, he was asking Dan Hironaka if he could challenge a certain aspect of that play. So I'm not sure if it was something that wasn't challengeable.
Maybe it was something that wasn't challengeable.
Or if he just changed his mind. Here it comes from Fei, 3 serving 1. Back row set to Cook. Sniffed out by Jennings. So Tuileta sets up Rado. Off the block and out. He makes it look pretty easy, doesn't he?
He really does. Not much drop-off from bench. Tilbert to Rado.
I mean, at least from a pure hitting standpoint, there are still some around the program that say, hey, Parapunov might be the most efficient hitter. It's just Stein brings so many other elements to the game along with being a fantastic offensive player.
Stein plays some pretty good defense, that's for sure.
Great serve there. Chance here for Hawaii. Here's Matautia rising high. Oh, that elevation is still there, that's for sure.
Good set from Jennings Franciscovich, too. Set that like a first tempo set. Got it out there quickly to Matautia. He knows how quickly Matautia gets up. Matautia is running toward the net before the ball is even touched by Franciscovich.
5 serving 1. Fei, another good serve. Here's Strange. Oh, by the double block with some definity.
Oh, give a lot of credit that time to Gianluca Grasso. Terrific pass. Almost an ace, and he saved it. Put up a pretty good pass. And then Strange. He looked like Parapunov there. A miniature version of Parapunov. Nice angle.
Another power packing lefty. Just misses the end line there on the serve. And a free point there for Hawaii. Pat Gassman will get ready behind the service line. You may notice tonight's theme, a lot of the fans donning pink. Hawaii wearing the pink floral pattern jerseys. Of course, as a means for breast cancer awareness. And that's going to be an ace for Pat Gassman.
I like that they're wearing some pink in their socks and the floral pattern, but it's not my favorite uniform. Kind of like the Hawaiian flag better. How about you?
Yeah. But it's perfect for a night like this where they are calling attention to such a vicious disease as is breast cancer. But you're right. I mean, outside of that, you're right. This is not a jersey that's going to win too many fashion awards.
Yeah. Here comes another paddle.
We got a challenge. What do you think he's challenging here, Chris?
He's claiming that the referee claimed that. Is it a nut? Did he take his challenge out? He's claiming that Farimo, Farimo said he didn't touch it, and apparently the call was different than even including Farimo.
I think Jeff Nygaard likes to just kind of needle the fans from time to time, too.
He's got a great sense of humor, doesn't he?
Hey, and that little pause in the action, right? A little prolonged feigning of the challenge that maybe contributed to Pat Gassman serving into the net.
Nygaard slowed the game down and didn't use up a timeout.
It's gamesmanship.
Yeah.
Here's Gianluca Grasso. Good serve there, tight to the net. Back row set to Fay, makes it work. And one of those plays, Jennings Franciscovich, one of the few setters where a pass that high above the net, he can still deliver a nectar.
He really does get up high and saves a lot of balls from being overpassed to the opponent's side, that's for sure.
So Rado Potapunov now to serve. Outside set, the swing by Chris Orenik. Now Matautia couldn't quite connect on that one. Middle set goes to Moss, and that winds up a USC point.
Good swing by Ryan Moss that time. He's another Fab 50, high school All-American. SC's roster is just full of youth national team, junior national team, high school All-Americans. It really doesn't matter who they put on the floor. It's going to be somebody good, that's for sure.
Franciscovich again, pulling off the dump shot. Charlie Wade talking before the match, he says, I'd love to get Joe Worsley some time tonight. He says what makes it difficult is Jennings is at the top of his game right now. He's playing the best volleyball of his career, and he makes plays, this according to Charlie Wade, that no other setter in the country can make. Outside, the swing by Orenik. Sends it long. Was there a touch? No touch up front, so another point for the Rainbow Warriors.
Orenik's another one that's got the incredible resume, high school All-American, Fab 50, most valuable player twice in the Junior Olympics, #1 AU beach player, under 18s, most valuable player. He's got it all.
Oh, Grasso denied. Dalton Solberg in the middle of it all. And up off the bench, Jeff Nygaard signaling for a timeout. The Rainbow Warriors starting to run away again.
Big Island Candies, the perfect place to find the perfect gift. Visit them at their flagship store in Hilo at Ala Moana Center or online at BigIslandCandies.com to see their amazing selection, including delicious chocolate-dipped shortbreads.
Well, the theme was to wear pink. It doesn't necessarily matter what kind of attire. It's open to interpretation and creativity.
Was that a night? Like a 90 that was Rabbit had on?
That family looked very cozy. Here's Strange out of the timeout. Great dig there by Tui Tuileta. And Kapono Fay, a little half-hearted swing. So chance here for the Trojans. Middle set goes to Inlow. And Potapunov setting cross court to Fay. Puts it down. Give the assist to Rado.
Wow, that was some kind of set from far away. Look how far Rado is away. That's about 40 feet to get to Fay, and Fay finds a hole in the block and puts it down. Rado gets the assist.
Got it out of the palms cleanly. Pretty good stuff there from Rado Potapunov as Matautia goes into the twine. 5 serving 13 here coming up for the Trojans. Hawaii hitting 667 in this current set. USC negative 0.83. Paremo with the serve. Oh, how about the back middle set to Solberg? Couldn't put it down. Great save there by Rios. Great save there by Hawaii's libero. Here's Fay, blocked and roofed. And some signs of life there from Connor Inlow and Aaron Strange on behalf of the Trojans.
Solid block there. Great save by Tuileta, the former Trojan. And great block by Inlow and Strange. Strange getting most of it. Good form, nice penetration over the net. Nice outside hand turned in.
Tuileta, who played, as you mentioned, at USC. 26 matches, in fact, for the Trojans in 2015. He started 12 of them. He was an outside hitter. Averaged 2.1 kills per set and was an MPSF all-freshman team selection. Last night, against his former team, playing libero, he had 11 digs. Nobody digging that up. Kupono Fei bringing the heat.
Jennings Franciscovich getting a little more creative in his offense right now, bringing Kupono Fei in from the pin, sneaking him inside. The blockers just could not get there to get any kind of a hand on him.
And he's in some kind of groove. He is jumping higher. He is hitting with more authority. Oh, look at that rat-a-tat on the USC side. Two-hand save there by Solbrig. Bumps that tight to the net. And the swing by Chris Orenik, who gets it down. Well, you got to give it to this young Trojans group. They are playing some feisty volleyball on that side of the net, as exemplified there on the first touch by Rios, and then Ferremo keeping it alive.
They're scrappy, to be sure. Rennick's got a great serve, too, by the way.
Forces the overpass.
Yep, great serve.
Ferremo goes outside. The swing by Grasso. And that's a point for USC.
Gianluca Grasso. What a story. Coming off an ankle sprain. Born in Brazil. Went to Puerto Rico. In a couple of years of high school there. Then went a couple of years of high school in Ohio. Went to Orange Coast College, to junior college, and finally ended up at USC. The one common thing is, love playing volleyball everywhere.
And he's a volleyball player, no doubt. Outserve Hawaii first to 15. Welcome back. Series record sponsored by Aston Hotels and Resorts. Hawaii leading the all-time series 42-37, won by way of a sweep last night. These are two programs that have just had a history of putting on epic performances and epic battles. Last night, despite some late set challenges by USC, it wasn't quite one of those, and tonight has been obviously heavily lopsided in favor of the Rainbow Warriors as Joe Worsley comes in for Jennings Franciscovich. The backup setter, his first serve almost curled it in, missed it long.
Looks like Worsley's going to stay in, and Jennings Franciscovich may be on the bench the rest of the night.
There's the guys on the bench seeing their images on the big screen overhead. 9 serving 15. Passed by Tuileta. Backside set to Fei. Tapped over by Gassman. So here's USC with a chance. Strange against a triple block. Impenetrable. Rado Patapunov.
You're right, Rado got most of it. Very disciplined. No, not his hands weren't moving a whole lot. He just stayed real steady. Posted up that block so all the other two guys could form on him.
He got the most of it, but with Gassman right next to him. And Matautia as well. That's a formidable block. Strange. Little sidewinder. Worsley goes backside to Rado with a rip. And how about the set by Worsley?
It's a great back set by Worsley. Misdirection, going the other way, looking like he's in his set front left, and instead he goes behind and puts one right on the money for Rado.
And this is the guy who doesn't play all that much, Rado Patapunov. Another substitution here for USC, Blake Markland. Outside, Markland with the touch shot. So chance here for Hawaii. Here's Patapunov again. Good dig there by Ferremo. Strange will swing at it. Triple block up, got a piece. Worsley outside. Matautia off the block. From the back row, the push by Orenik gets blocked back. Here's Strange. He'll get a swing. He's blocked. Diving save by Rios, and a free ball coming here for Hawaii. Good sequence here. Worsley backside. Rado dug up over the net by Rios. The swing by Gassman gets it down for a Hawaii point.
How about that dig by Vinny Rios? He took Parapunov's best stuff and popped it right up. And then Hawaii gets the last say in the rally. Great rally. Fans here love it. Probably about 2,500, 3,000 tonight. on a Friday night.
Vinny Rios out of Torrance, California, transfer from Pepperdine, already has more digs tonight than he had all season coming into tonight's match.
Pepperdine transfer. You know what his major is? Global medicine. It's a great cause.
It's a good one.
Heal the world, get it healthy.
Pass there by Tuileta. Matautia up on springs, but he misses long. And a point for the Trojans. You know, as announcers and even as coaches, you do a certain amount of preparation, right? And it's always heavily leaning towards the players who obviously play the most and get the most minutes or sets or whatever sport you're doing. We're having to reach back a little bit into our notes here for the USC lineup that Jeff Nygaard put out there. And even Charlie Wade telling us before the match when the starters were announced, he said, you know, we can take our little scouting report and we can pretty much put it in the shredder because we have nothing on some of these guys.
And it took hours to do that scouting report, trust me. Josh Walker burns the midnight oil.
Oh, man.
Watching film after film after film, watching all the players. He does an amazing job putting together a scouting report. He looked over at us and went, well, I guess this isn't worth anything.
He did it for the love. Here's Anastasiadis blast that one long. He had a great story in the pregame show last night on Josh Walker and sort of a recap of his playing career and how he came full circle back to Hawaii. But the highlights of him playing volleyball with the dreads, oh man. I asked him, I said, are we going to see the dreads again? I kind of miss the dreads. He says, you wait and see.
And remember his nickname. Do you remember?
Oh, Josh Sky Walker.
Go.
He definitely did sky as Matautia does a little skying himself. Can't put it down, though. Arenik off the block. Good effort there. On the dive by Tuileta to no avail.
Good swing by Christopher Arenik. Boy, he's got game. He's got a nice arm. That time he just sort of tooled the block, but probably a smart thing to do. The block was well formed.
Worsley again goes backside to Rado. Did he get a touch? No touch. And first hitting error of the night for Parapunov. And look up at the scoreboard. USC has cut the deficit down to 5. A 5-1 Trojans run. Markland sends it long, and it's a point for Hawaii. Maybe there was a touch
there.
there.
Was. Had a finger being bent back there.
Yeah.
Ryan Moss's finger got bent back, and I think that challenge would have gone through had Charlie Wade gone for it.
The touch by Arenik, nothing doing. That Hawaii block saying you're going to have to bring it better than that. And Jeff Nygaard up calling a timeout. So Hawaii continues the block party. They now have 8 team blocks compared to 1 for USC. As we take a look at Rainbow Wahine softball against Seattle, Bob Coolin, head coach, searching for career win number 1,000. But Seattle right now on top in the 6th.
You think they'll have all those little cans full of, I don't know, foam or whatever it is, like they did with Dave
Silly
Shoji?
string, yeah.
Silly string, and just bury them with it?
Yeah, I mean, it's
They got to do something. The softball's famous for that, too, aren't
the
they?
stores that sell silly string, they must always keep an eye on these UH coaching records because every time there is one or a milestone that is reached, the silly string gets purchased by the case. And great news regarding the Rainbow Warrior basketball team today as the NCAA finally on the eve of Hawaii's regular season finale on the road against Long Beach State, making the decision, or at least announcing the decision, that they would lift the postseason ban. And perhaps even more importantly, they would actually restore a couple of scholarships here over the next 2 years. So some good news for Ron Ganat and his team. They know, win or lose tomorrow, they will play on here in this 2016-17 season.
As well.
Yes. From 3 years to 2 years.
Hats off to Dave Matlin and the job he did. I know he's doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work, you know, sending letters to the appeals committee and working with the Big West commissioner. And there was a lot of work going on. And then who knows? Maybe Dave Reardon's letter to the NCAA helped too. It's interesting to note when they issued their final statement was, and time had something to do with our decision. So, yeah, we feel really bad about carrying this on for so long, so we're really going to get you off the hook here.
You're strange. The dig there by Parapunov. He'll get the set. He goes off the block and out. I mean, that was a stout block, but he hits with so much force, the ricochet goes clear across the court.
Exactly. The block really was well formed. Good set from Worsley, and Parapunov just hits it so hard.
He's got 6 kills, hitting 500, and bringing the heat on the serve, too. Great pass. The dump shot, though, sniffed out. Joust at the net coming, and USC controls it on their side. Moss back sets Orenik. Return to sender.
The white block really working out. Picks up their 9th block of the night. Nice back set from Moss, but in on the block was the extra blocker. Matautia came all the way over from the left to help out.
Pass tight to the net. Blocked by Solbrig. Bump set goes to Orenik over a double block. Misses the cord long. Point for Hawaii. And they now sit on 24 after a 5-0 run. Largest lead of the second set. Aloha ball here in the second. And Parapunov smiling for the cameras. You think he's happy being out there, getting a little action?
Well, you know, I asked him the other day, how are you enjoying being in Hawaii? He said, oh, I love it here. Everybody's so nice. I like the food, and I have such good friends on the team. And I said, how about having to play second fiddle to Stein Van Tilburg? He says, it's okay. He's playing very well. I can be patient.
That's great to hear.
Great team player.
You see a lot of the starters on the bench now for Hawaii, and they're leading the cheers here as Rado serves for set point into the net. What does he have to do, you think, to improve his game? Obviously, Stein Van Tilburg playing at such a high level, but what are the areas that Rado can work on despite being such a good hitter already?
I think taking more balls and blocking more. Taking your block were the two biggest things, I think.
Because he's got that part down. Rado Parapunov with his 7th kill. And Hawaii takes set 2, 25-15. So intermission time. And the Bows will be able to reach into the broom closet, possibly, tonight. Welcome back. Let's take a look at the McDonald's match statistics. C-Mac, what are you seeing here?
Well, the biggest thing I see is that SC's making more hitting errors than they are kills. That's why they have that negative kill percentage. And for Hawaii, hitting .404, that's huge. They normally hit .323, so they're way above their season average. And the blocks is the other one, 9-1 on blocks and 24-19 in digs. It's amazing. Hawaii normally averages about 8 or 9 digs per set. So they normally should have about 18 or 19 there. Instead, they've got 24. Amazing. They're just playing great volleyball right now. That's all you can say.
They've now won 25 straight sets and looking to close things out in this match. If they do, they would have won their 13th straight match. So USC going with the young lineup. What can they do to try to prolong this thing?
Well, SC just got to keep fighting, or as they say in Trojan country, fight on.
There you go.
It's tough. I know Jeff Nygaard's having a tough problem. His team is not as deep this year as Hawaii's team, and even if Hawaii puts their seconds in, they're still considerably better than USC's seconds, and that's the mismatch right now.
So is this a big picture type of approach that we're seeing from Jeff Nygaard?
Absolutely.
I mean, he's thinking, hey, look, these players, these lineups will pay dividends months, maybe even years from now.
Absolutely. And he's saying thank you to some seniors that have not gotten a whole lot of playing time.
Overpass, Solbrig touches it down. So Hawaii's starting a reserve-laced lineup here in set number 3. Worsley is in at setter. You have Parapunov, Matautia, and Solbrig, who were not original starters. Brett Rosenmeyer, though, back in there at outside hitter. And Tui Tuileta is the libero.
I think watch for partway through this set, watch for Ian McKellar to sometime
That'd be nice to see.
enter, which would really be nice.
put your towel down and then go back farther away.
McKellar, one of
I think Franciscovic, we've seen the last of Franciscovic tonight.
Steinbach Zilberg we haven't seen since a little past midway through the first set. Potapunov leading everybody, by the way, with 7 kills.
Here we go, here we go.
Aaron Strange did a nice job for USC. 5 kills, 2 errors. He's leading the way for the Trojans.
So 1-0. Here it comes from Joe Worsley. Middle set blocked back. Hawaii has been blocking just about everything. And that's another instance there. They're over 10 team blocks here for the night.
They average a little over 2.5 blocks per set, so they're over their average.
Backside, Strange's block. Now outside, Orenik. And a net violation is called against Hawaii, so point for USC. So this is a team on Hawaii's side of the net that resembles more of what is known as the B team, right? Or the scout team.
Exactly. I'm a little surprised that Charlie also didn't get in Mamane Namahoe and give Larry Tuioleta a rest, and that may still happen. We'll see. Mamane may come in and serve for somebody, but I suspect that Charlie would like to get all 14 eligible players in. His roster is like 18 deep, but you can only have 14 on any given night in the MPSF.
What's contributed to this Hawaii run, though? What has made this Hawaii team so far so special? That B team pushes the A team on an everyday basis. Is Potapunov able to get it down again?
You know, the great line Charlie Wade had after the game last night was, we got this great, winning streak going, what number of sets won? He says, no. We've lost plenty of sets Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
We just don't lose many on Friday and Saturday. But the B team beats the A team all the time.
Hey, B team's a tough squad.
They are.
I mean, this B team could be a starting lineup for so many other programs across the country.
Absolutely. Do you think Parapunov couldn't find a spot at some MPSF team? Or even Joe Worsley, junior national team center, he could find a place to set in the league, don't you think?
I think you're giving the vultures out there some ideas.
Yeah.
Back row set, big swing there by Blake Markland. And there was a touch. So it's a point for USC. Blake Markland, the sophomore from Manhattan Beach.
Touch on the block.
Grandfather Francis has been a faculty member at USC School of Medicine for 40 years, and both his parents are USC grads. That's another theme. You talk about all the high school All-Americans and U.S. junior national team members, but this USC team is full. As you see Rado putting it down again for his 9th kill of the match. It is full of pedigree, USC pedigree.
Everywhere you look. In fact, there's like a whole page dedicated in the printout at the beginning of the week. It deals with nothing but all of the legacy athletes.
Solberg with the serve, forces the overpass, and Gassman gobbles it up.
Not often you see that little roll serve that's very soft and it looks like easy from here, but not often you see it overpassed.
So Dalton Solberg again behind the line from Lindenhurst, Illinois. A marine biology major sends it into the twine. One of those Volleyball magazine Fab 50s in high school at Lakes Community High School. Also played basketball over there, won a sectional title in that sport.
Recruited by Harvard and Princeton. 2 of the schools I know you were recruited by as well when you were in high school.
Yeah, tough decision. It definitely was a tough decision. Here's Rado. Great dig there by Ferramo. Orenik, triple block up. Forget about it. You have 6'9" Potapunov next to 6'10" Pat Gassman and throw 6'6" Brett Rosenmeyer in the fold. Where do you go against that?
There's not many places to go. I think if you want to tip the ball over the block.
And now an ace. for Rado.
Rado, one of the awards he won when he was in Bulgaria playing on the junior national team, he got Best Spiker in 2015, and in 2016, he won Best Server. So he's been recognized in Europe well before he was getting famous here.
Pass there by Vinny Rios. Outside, Markland blocked and roofed. Gassman and Worsley.
Markland actually hit a smart shot there, trying to go down the line against Hawaii's smallest blocker, but Worsley would have none of it.
Jeff Nygaard signaling timeout. Not much he can do. Hawaii by 5. Welcome back. Time now for the Fujitsu Air Conditioning cool play of the game. And wouldn't you know it, Rado Panapunov has 9 kills. We're not using any of those. We're using his 1 assist cross-court, C-Mac.
That was a good one, I'm telling you. That was a long set. Konofe did a nice job of running in and chasing it down. It fell a little bit short of where Panapunov wanted, but he had enough on it to give Kapono a chance.
We return to live action. Near stuff again by Pat Gassman. Free chance here for Hawaii. Outside, Rosenmeyer off the block. Orenek keeps it alive. Here's Strange, hits it into the antenna, and it's a point for Hawaii. Now you saw the score we flashed prior to the break from Rainbow Wahine Softball Stadium. And Hawaii falling short to Seattle 4-3. They'll play 2 games tomorrow. Charleston Southern, which starts at 2 p.m., and then also against Toledo. So Bob Coolin will have 2 chances to reach career win number 1,000 as a head coach, as that tip shot goes into the net.
What's the name of that tournament?
Part of the Coca-Cola Malihini Kipa Aloha tournament.
Oh, nice job on that. No?
10 serving 3. Here's Panapunov serving amid Panapunov chants from his teammates on the bench. It was a 2-part chant. Panapunov, Panapunov. He delivers. And a timeout taken by the Trojans. Hawaii rolling, up 11-3. Welcome back to the Stan Sheriff Center. There you see the score. Hawaii up 11-3. Already up 2-0 here in this match against 14th ranked USC. The Rainbow Warriors seeking win number 13 in a row. They have already won now 25 straight sets after winning the first 2 here tonight. Nice swing there by Blake Markland. USC playing a bunch of reserves from the beginning of this match on to this point. With Nygaard, in fact, most of them, the vast majority of them, all underclassmen as well. Worsley, backside, here's Rado. Oh, he got up close and personal with Connor Inlow for his 10th kill of the night.
That was some major miles per hour on that one. Can you see why McKellar said, or Henrik Moll said, you should have been here at 7:30 the other morning, and Rado lit it up for like an hour and didn't get stopped by anybody.
Outside, Markland against a solo block. Digging lips is Tui. Here's Rado again. Nicely done there on the dig by Ferramo. Rado with the dig. Chance here for Hawaii. Outside, Matautia. Great defense by SC to keep this sequence alive. Gassman's tip is sniffed out by Ferramo. Bump said it's Strange from off the net. Diving save by Rosenmeyer. Worsley sets up Matautia. Sends it long. Point for the Trojans. And the crowd applauds the effort on both sides. Some scrappy play certainly on SC's side of the net.
That was a good exchange there. Both sides playing some pretty good defense. Especially some nice plays close to the net.
Strange with the serve. Handled nicely by Rosenmeyer. Gassman in the middle. Light clockwork. And Hawaii back up 13-5.
There's a connection, Worsley to Gassman, that seems to always work. Joe will rarely underset the 6'10" middle.
And Gassman will rarely commit an error. 3 kills on 8 swings, no errors, hitting .375 tonight. Had 4 kills on 5 swings, no errors last night. Then forces the overpass, and easy pickings there for Austin Matautia and Dalton Solberg. They'll give it to Matautia. largest lead of this third set for Hawaii.
Jeff Nygaard out of timeouts.
Yeah, he used both timeouts prior to the 15-point officials timeout. Does have a couple of the challenges remaining, though, and, you know, can use that creatively to pause the action. Mark Lynn over a triple block. Touch shot works.
Oh, what a smart shot by Mark. He had a rainbow wall in front of him, and he found the open space behind them. Nice play.
Blake Markland now to serve 6 serving 14. It's an ace. Matautia ducked out of the way, thought it was going long.
So he follows his brilliant roll shot with a brilliant ace.
Now, what you can say about this SC team is while these players that we're seeing tonight are young, mostly underclassmen, there's some talent here, and with some of this experience, perhaps the ceiling is pretty high. The block was pretty high there. Ryan Moss, along with Woody Cook, blocking Rado Parapunov, something we haven't seen yet tonight.
Solid block. Moss got most of it.
It is 8 serving 14.
Let's see a little mini run here.
Outside, Matautia didn't get all of it, got enough of it, and Hawaii reaches 15 first once again. So timeout on the floor. Let's check out how it works, presented by Central Pacific Bank. What are we looking at here, C-Mac?
How it works, well, watch Joe Worsley go to the left part of the court. He's going to be setting the ball to the right side of the court, and that's a tough set to make. Rado was ready. He gets the kill. That's a really cool look. Worsley running one direction. It's like a misdirection in football. He's going one way, setting the other. And he was, you know, Moss wasn't fooled though, but most middle blockers would get fooled. Not Moss that time. He picked up on it, and he got there in time to put up a block, but not many people have been successful blocking Rado tonight.
Joe Worsley, he has been flashing some brilliance when it comes to that back set.
The blocks tonight, 13-2 for Hawaii.
A little bit more like it, yeah. But getting back to Joe Worsley, started 11 of the team's final 15 matches last year. Had a season-high 59 assists to go along with 10 digs against UC Irvine in a 5-set win. So, I mean, this is a guy who has a wealth of experience, who was certainly in the running for the starting setter position this season. But that really just goes all the more to the story of Jennings Franciscovich and his further testimony as to how well Franciscovich has played here in 2017.
He dedicated himself over the summer and during fall training to winning that job back. And the players, you know, who really know him were so impressed and so inspired by his work ethic and everything, especially in the weight room, a place he didn't really like that much before. All of a sudden, he just got after it. He's now one of the guys that's one of the strongest guys in the room.
And it's no coincidence. You know, what we talked about with regard to this B team and how talented they are. They push the guys who have emerged as the starters. Good looking hit there by Woody Cook. So, I mean, without the presence of Joe Worsley, we don't necessarily see the ascension of Jennings Franciscovich this year. Without Rado Parapunov, we don't necessarily see Stein von Tilburg take his game to the next level.
Totally agree.
Here's Matautia right down the line and in. And another perfect back set from Joe Worsley.
Yeah, there's just one story right after another. I don't think we'd see the Rosemeyer without Matautia pushing him.
Bingo.
It's just one story after another. That's the great teams are made up of stories like that.
16 serving 9. Here's Strain from off the net. And Worsley was non-committal. Maybe that one was going long, but it's a point for the Trojans. Good looking set there from Matt Faremo, who retreats back to serve. Has a relative, Preston Faremo, who actually played football at the University of Hawaii from 2000 to 2001. Here's Rado. Sends it long, no touch. Third hitting error for Rado.
Rare error from Rado. 18 swings, third error. Was hitting .471 prior to that. His average will drop a little.
Outside, Rosenmeyer restoring order. And Hawaii back up 6.
Worsley knew that the ball was being... they might think he's going to go back to Rado just to give Rado another swing. Instead, he goes the opposite way. Hence, Rosenmeyer, who's got one blocker out there on him. I told you Mamani might get in.
Yeah, not as a libero. He's back to serve. And that one long off of the palm of Cook. No touch. Point for Hawaii. Mamani Namahoe, 6-foot sophomore from Hilo out of Waikea High School, making an appearance in his 7th match of the season. A guy who always just seems to have a smile on his face.
Real positive force out there every day in practice.
Here's Cook. Pushes it off the block and out.
He got it right off the noggin of Rosenmeyer.
So Namahoe comes out. Tuileta back on the floor in the libero spot.
Namahoe could have actually stayed there and given Tuileta a break.
Out serve, and another point for Hawaii.
Here comes McKellar.
And here is Sir Ian McKellar.
Oh, I like it. I like you giving him a new nickname.
And Rado Panapunov hears it. He sits with 10 kills, hit .389. And Ian McKellar back to serve.
Another lefty. He's got a good jump serve.
One of the true gentlemen on this Rainbow Warrior team.
Good serve.
Outside, Markland off the block and out. I talked with Ian McKellar prior to the match last night and asked him, how you doing? He says, hey, look, it's my senior year. I'd love to be playing more. Absolutely. But we're winning, and that's the main thing. If we're winning and we're playing well, I'm fine with that.
Pretty good chance his parents, John and Carol, are watching in Macclesfield, England right now.
Rosenmeyer stopped solo style by Aaron Strange. Strange has been a bright spot for SC tonight.
He has. Great block. Nice movement. Stays disciplined right down the line.
Connor Inlow now to serve. Hawaii by 5. Pass tight to the net. One hand set up by Worsley and an absolute hammer.
Worsley climbed a little ladder there, didn't he? Not quite as high as Jennings Franciscovich, but he goes up high enough to give that a nice little one-handed set to Gassman.
Yeah, Gassman bouncing that one. 20 serving 14 now. Rosie back to serve. Markland off the block. Punched up in the air by Matautio. Nice second touch there by Tuileta. Strange off the block. Rosenmeyer. Outside, it's Matautio with the blast. Back over the net it goes. Worsley. Austin again. Another blast. Saved out of the crowd by Cook and returned. We play on. Matautio. This time. Popped up. No, this time it hit 4 times on the USC side of the net.
Oh, the fans love it. That was one great rally. Charlie Wade clapping, Jeff Nygaard clapping for his team, and the fans clapping as well. Look at that save by Woody.
Unbelievable.
Woody Cook doing it all.
Matautio with hammer after hammer. None of them actually touched the floor, but the 4-hit violation on the USC side, and Rosenmeyer, maybe a little winded after that sequence, serves it into the net.
I'm waiting for Joe Worsley to give Ian McKellar a set. I have a feeling it's coming up right here.
2 kills on the season for McKellar. Would be nice to see him get a right one here. Matautio into the pin. So another point for USC. 16 serving 21. Next up for Hawaii, March 10th, the first of 2 matches with your alma mater, Stanford, coming to town.
That'll be a good series next week.
Joust at the net. Winds up a swing for Gassman. Good save there by McKellar. Here's Mataltia. Oh, the arm is lively tonight, Chris.
Well, Gassman did not get the set, but he got a great cover there. And he got a great dig prior to that. Austin Mataltia showing signs of his early season play. 8 kills tonight. Lighten it up.
And James Anastasiadis redshirted last season, so he's just a freshman. Good server, and here it comes. Well, that one falls off a table. Brilliant pass by Cook. Strange is dug up by McKellar. Worsley outside. Mataltia again blocked and roofed. Hawaii has already surpassed its win total from last year, and it guarantees the 6th winning season under head coach Charlie Wade. Can they keep the streak going, though? Mataltia again. He's on a streak of getting sets. Good save there by Tuileta. Here's Mataltia again. Dug up over the net. Beautifully done by Rios. Worsley. How about Austin? This time gets it down.
I'm going to see if his arm's going to be attached after the game. That's a lot of swings.
He would not be denied.
He's got more swings than anybody in the court. That's 23 swings for Austin Mataltia.
23 serving 17. And now some time to be taken to wipe some perspiration off of the Terraflex. Rado Parapunov, high man with 10 kills tonight. Austin Mataltia with 9. And Joe Worsley getting ready to serve. Hawaii up 6 and closing in. Backside Strange. Blocked and roof. Solbrig and Mataltia saying ahole. And on that note, they rise here at the Stan Sheriff Center. A season-high crowd, 3,985. Aloha ball for the match. Overpass, Solbrig. One hand saved by Rios. The swing by Markland. And USC not fouled just yet.
What a swing. That was a great play by Markland, and Rios with a one-handed pop-up. Keep that rally alive.
Moss to serve, still Aloha ball. Worsley outside. Here's McKellar. Sir Ian McKellar finishes the deal. Hawaii takes it. Ekahi, Elua, Aloha in the Hanaho against USC.
Oh, you got to be so happy for Ian McKellar. Waiting for his time. He got it right there. Just to close it out.
Hawaii hits 360 for the match. USC negative 0-1-1. Hawaii posts 14 blocks en route to yet another sweep victory. That's now 26 straight sets won and 13 straight matches. Bank of Hawaii presents the players of the match. Aaron Strange was a bright spot for USC. 6 kills, 2 blocks, and 4 digs. And we're going to give it to Rado Parapunov for Hawaii. 10 kills, hitting .389, 3 blocks, and 3 digs. As tonight presented an opportunity for Charlie Wade to give some run to some of the guys on the bench. And they delivered. And they continue this incredible role for the Rainbow Warrior volleyball team, Chris.
You know, this is really important for team morale as well, to give those guys who haven't played much a chance to get out there and prove their worth. The B team guys, you know, all week long they're simulating the opponent, and rarely do they get to play on Friday and Saturday night. Now they're having all the fun doing the kick dancing and everything and having some fun. And they've always got a tough stretch of matches coming up.
Yeah.
And so the morale of the team, I think, is really important at this time of the year. They got Stanford for 2 games, and they got to go to BYU, a tough place to play, and then CSUN at home, then UCLA away. So it's a tough stretch, and I think Charlie Wade has really got his team ready for that, at least happiness-wise.
It's now 8 straight sweeps for the Rainbow Warriors. They also now have a 17-match winning streak in this building dating back to last season. So the numbers continue to build. Hawaii improving to 18-2 overall. Remember, this was not an MPSF match, so they remain 8-2 in the league. But you're right, the competition will steadily climb here in the oncoming weeks. Stanford first up in the house next week, March 10th and 11th. And so, yeah, we're talking sweeps. That's become the norm. I don't think they can continue to expect that. There's going to be some much tougher matches coming up.
Yeah, the Stanford match is definitely be tough next week, Friday, Saturday. And then an even tougher set of matches when they travel to BYU, probably the toughest place to play in the conference, Smith Fieldhouse. And that'll be a really tough one. Of course, finishing with UCLA, who was picked to win it all early in the year. They've struggled with some injuries. But I'm telling you, it's a tough stretch. Hawaii cannot get too cocky. Stay humble.
That said,
keep practicing hard.
That said, so far, so good. Hawaii ballin'. Scott Robb says Charlie Wade.
All right, thanks a lot, Kanoa. Coach tonight reminded me of an AYSO soccer game. Everybody got a chance to play.
Yeah, we did get a lot of guys in there, and for me, it was just trying to make sure that we maintain the focus and intensity that we have been playing with. And when you start, getting farther down the bench, sometimes that can back off. But really proud of the guys, staying focused, very professional, very businesslike, and a lot of guys did get into the game, and they all played well. That's nice.
Were you hoping to get a little bit more of a challenge from USC tonight?
Well, I'm not really concerned what's going on over there. For us, we know they got a lot of good players, and we're just, like I said, we're just battling and worrying about what we're doing.
Heading down the home stretch now, you've got 4 more series remaining, all 4 quality teams, and it starts next week with Stanford.
Yeah, there's no doubt. We're getting into the meat of the schedule, but, we're playing well, pretty confident. Really want to thank the crowd for coming out here tonight. That was awesome, and as we start going down, I think it's going to be more and more important. This is a fun team to watch. These guys have worked hard and playing at a really high level. So if you're watching this, that means you're sitting at home. So come out and support us if you can next week. It'd be great.
Thanks, Charlie.
All right, appreciate it. Aloha.
All right. Good luck.
Thanks a lot, Scott. Charlie Wade winning on a night where breast cancer awareness was certainly front and center. Charlie, who lost both of his parents to cancer, you know that this one was for them. The win streak continues. For Chris McLaughlin, I'm Kanoa Leahy. Stay tuned for the post-game show. Aloha.